for the ions. I've set the eyes off centre, they're off to one side a kinter of the centre datum. That brings the eyes closer together, makes them react quicker. On this very particular one, I've got a black heart board in there for no other reason other than it chirps to tell you whether it's on or it's off. It's not a big thing, but it does make a difference, you know, if you can actually hear what your board is saying to you. I know it sounds silly. This will probably end up with a virtual board, so I can have the auto response trigger frame in there. Okay, so switch the thing on and off. I've got this little carbon fibre cover, which gives up a little rubber button. That's eyes on, obviously nothing in the chamber. By the way, these are all tested before we go on YouTube and fire them, so I know there's no paint in here. You know what your lot can be like. Again, this is 90 psi. 90 psi, take note. That's quick enough. I've not even set this to ramping. Doing it. Ion trigger frame. I've got some old, for us old school boys who've been playing a long time, auto mag thumb screw. How cool is that? I'll do an auto mag thumb screw for the rear as well. Custom made barrels. Again, this is one of my signature series stepless designs. It's an old school South African arms and front with polygroove rifling, so it's a rifle tip. And then what I do is this rear end is off an ion, because originally when I got this barrel it was in copper thread, so I didn't want to recut the thread, so I've just remade the whole thing. And then what I do into the ion, the rear part of the ion barrel there, I counterbore that, and this is a freak insert that's basically, it's been cut in half. That gives me a little insert, keep the paint nice and tight. However, one thing I have noticed is the sp1 fire chambers, they're very clever. They have a soft bolt start sort of mechanical attitude. What that means is I'm firing away and a ball only goes halfway in the breech before the bolt's travelling forward again. Because remember, the standard sp1 doesn't have eyes yet. So to stop that ball being cut in half, what happens is the bolt hits the ball, the pressure's too much, the air escapes behind the bolt and the bolt resets. Now what I've since found out is that if you run your paint too tight in the insert, it has the same effect. So your bolt will go forward, it can't push the ball into the insert, so it resets. Next ball drops in, you've got 1.5 balls in there now. One, the eyes won't pick up on the other half of the ball because it's only sitting halfway in there. Two, it won't fire anymore, it just goes chop, chop, chop. But the cool thing of that is it won't chop the paint. So, goods and bads, what that means is don't run your paint too tight. Super compact, kick up built into the grip frame again. Unfortunately boys, I'm not selling this one, but if you've got an sp1, pick yourself up an ion, rip clip, and I'll make you one. Labour for one of these, about 150 quid. It's a mechanically mounted rip clip now. You can actually unbolt the rip clip. On my earlier ones, the rip clip was bonded in place, you know, fiberglass, epoxy resin, etc, etc. There was no problem with that. It took a lot longer to make, but the downside of all that fiberglass and epoxy resin did have a knock-on effect of making the gun a bit weighty. I know it sounds crazy, but there was, you know, there was a lot of resin went into attaching them. And as you can see, lovely size. Look, I'm right behind that. As you see, if I'm wearing a mask, my mask won't touch the gun. Why have you got a stock on your marker? I don't know. But if you want to go sniping, this is the ultimate package to go sniping with. Obviously, you've already seen this with a great big massive silencer on the front there. About 8 inches of bolted barrel, all powering into the silencer after the ball, okay? So it's quiet. With the silencer in place, you don't hear it. I've got 5 shots on you before you even know I'm there. If we're talking ramping terms, that's 30 balls before you even know I'm there. And if I'm using dark paint, you won't even know where it's coming from. Enjoy. thing of beauty. Look at that profile.